only way to deal with fear is to realize that, first of all, that which we fear, as you just said, even if you begin by talking about fear of judgment, ultimately at the end where we are is fear of death. And if you say to most people, what are you afraid of? And they say judgment or humiliation or shame or failure or this or that. Ultimately, if you go, okay, and then what? And then what? And then what? It always ends up in, and then I die. Even if our experience is thinking we're going to die of shame or physically die, it's, and then I die. I cease to exist. And the truth is, you are going to die. Every one of us is going to die. And so the minute that we actually, not just intellectually, but experientially, are aware that not only are we going to die, but we are dying in every minute. We are walking closer to death every single minute. And so that ultimate thing that you fear, that worst case end result of the judgment, of the failure, of the shame, of the humiliation, of the loss, that end of the line, worst comes to worst situation of then I die, well, it's going to happen. It's the only guarantee. The only way around that is to realize you are not that which dies. You are not that which is shamed or humiliated or fails or is judged. The physical body, the identity, the history, the personality, the ego, this dies. But the truth of who you are, you're not those things. And the way that we know you're not those things is, how many times has your physical body changed? How old are you? 24. Okay, so every cell in your body has pretty much regenerated at least 3 times so far. About every 7-8 years. Every cell of the body is regenerated. The skin cells are every few days. Blood cells, organ cells, longer. But the longest takes 7-8 years. So every cell of your being has regenerated. But you still say I. Who's the I? What is it that's been continuous? You've been saying I since you were about 2 years old. But when you said I at 2, and then I at 12, and I at 22, and I at 24, what's consistent? Not the identity that we have about ourselves. If I said to your 2-year-old self, who are you? You'd tell me all sorts of fun things. If I said to your 12-year-old self, who are you? You'd tell me all sorts of different fun things. If I say to you today, who are you? Give me a different story. Something connected with this fear of judgment that my identity is wrapped up into. Not being judged. Not being seen in a negative light. But that's all story. It's not who you are. So when you focus on finding out who you really are, who is the you that isn't, soul. But that's an intellectual answer. You've got to feel that. Who is the you that can't be judged? Who is the you that doesn't need to be good enough? Who is the you who will never die? The more time you spend, the more energy you spend, the more attention you spend, rooted in that, the less attached you are to what people think of you, because you realize they're not seeing the true self. And you realize they're only judging me. Anybody who judges you, anyone, is living in their own jail of judgment. We only give to others that which we create inside, right? We were talking about the love manufacturing plant. So I can only give you love if I first start manufacturing it in myself. In the same way, I can only create hell for you if I'm manufacturing hell inside of me. Which means that all those people who create misery for others, who bring about pain and suffering for others, well, realize they're creating it in themselves. They're manufacturing it within them. And so if I'm going to be judging you, it means within me is the mechanism, and it's on, and it's functioning, and it's on overdrive, that is seeing in separation, that is seeing in judgment, that is seeing in illusion, in darkness, in ignorance. And so you stopped being bothered by that. And you start feeling compassion for that. Because you realize if they're judging me, they're in their own jail. But you make sure to stop judging yourself. Because other people's judgment of us only really stings if we judge ourselves. My favorite way of thinking about this is, if you say to me, "Oh my God, that is the most ugly purple mohawk I've ever seen," wouldn't impact me at all, because I know I don't have a purple mohawk. So I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to feel like, oh my God. I'm not even going to go like this. I don't have to do this. I know I don't have a mohawk. But if you say something to me that I'm already in doubt about myself, or that I'm already thinking about myself, it's going to sting. If you talk to me about my purple mohawk, you insult my purple mohawk, I'm just going to think either you're crazy or you're blind. Right? One or the other. Either you can't literally see and you actually think I have a purple mohawk, or your eyes are fine but your brain is bad. One or the other, right? Either the eyes are bad or the brain is bad, because I clearly don't have a purple mohawk. So in the same way, if someone is judging you and you know it's not true, it's not going to sting. It's only going to sting if I think what they're saying is true, because I'm already judging myself for it. And this is where only when I know the truth of myself, like I know I don't have a purple mohawk. So in the same way, I know that I'm not any of those things that I may be judging myself for. I know I'm enough. I'm whole. I'm full. I'm complete. I'm divine. I'm pure. I'm love. I'm truth. When I know I am all those things, then I feel compassion for people who Either their eyes are bad or their brain is bad. But I don't move through the world afraid of them.